Hello and welcome to day 2 of remote learning with Mr. Smart. So today guys I'm going to be taking us through page 17 through 19 in the paper packets. That means we're going to be reviewing the graphic organizer, how to complete that, and then showing you how to turn your graphic organizer into a 4-paragraph essay. Remember, if we do a good job on the graphic organizer, most of our essay is written for us. So tomorrow there'll be a video out how we can make our essay a little bit better. But for the most part, your essay will be written if you do your graphic organizer correctly. So let me show you what I did. So first of all, I only used source 1. Because I don't want you guys just to copy from me. If you see something you like in here, you can definitely copy at least one of my reasons and evidence. But I want your second reason and your second piece of evidence to be your own work. So again, I only use source 1 just to show you this example. So here's my claim. I believe that people are not born evil, although I do believe some people can turn into monsters. So again, guys, I'm answering both questions from the prompt. Are people born evil, or do they learn to be evil? And do you think some people can be monsters? In your graphic organizer, there's one question up here, one question up here. Notice that I combined them, because what I'm going to be doing is copying and pasting this and putting it into an essay. So everything I write here is going to be in a complete sentence, so I can just take it and turn it into an essay. Okay, so if this is my claim, I need to have a reason in my own words that says why I don't think people are born evil, although I do think they can turn into monsters. So here's my reason. I believe this because research shows that evil is learned through observing other people. So that sounds pretty good, but if I can't prove it, then it doesn't mean anything. So I have to have text evidence. And again, I went through source 1 and found this text evidence. So here's my text evidence. In source 1, Simon Baron-Cohen, a professor of developmental psychopathology from Cambridge University, says, if you look at the history of people committing antisocial acts, breaking the law, and hurting other people, there are strong environmental factors that predict that, says Baron-Cohen. Growing up in an environment of criminality is one big factor, as is early neglect and abuse, those purely emotional factors. So, what I think that's good text evidence backing this up. That might be a little confusing for you guys, and it's definitely going to be confusing for the old lady. So now I have to explain in my own words why this piece of text evidence supports this reason. So here's what I said. This evidence shows that people who grow up in a criminal or abusive environment are much more likely to become violent or evil. This suggests that evil is something that is learned from one's environment and not innate. And remember, guys, we learned that innate means something you're born with. So what this guy's saying is that people who grow up in sort of unstable environments are much more likely to do things that we consider evil, which suggests that it's something that you learn from your environment and not something that you're just born with. So that's my first reason, evidence, and explanation. Now I have to have a second reason that proves my claim up here. Another reason I believe people cannot be born evil is that evil is not a genetic trait. So again, I'm getting this from source 1 because I don't want to steal, I don't want to use all the sources for you guys. I want you guys to use at least one piece of evidence that I didn't use in your graphic organizer. So I got to prove that evil is not a genetic trait. In source 1, S.E. Viding, a psychology professor at University of London, says, nobody's born a killer. There are differences that affect the chance of developing murderous traits. Although most children become distressed when those around them are unhappy, some are less reactive to others' emotions. A lack of empathy is one of the key signs of psychopathy. If you have psychopathy, you're more likely to hurt somebody. So what Viding is saying right here is that you can be born with certain traits that make you much more likely to be a psychopath. One of those traits is you're not in tune with other people's emotions. But let's keep going. Witting says that parents and teachers have a strong effect on a child's mental path. Growing up in a mean environment is likely to make a child less empathetic, while a positive teacher who rewards good behavior can help a child react appropriately to others' suffering. So, again, this was a lot of text evidence, and I know some of you guys like to use a bunch of text evidence in your essays, but then you don't explain it. You're hoping that the old lady will take your word for it, that this text evidence is good. But the old lady is pretty skeptical about these things, so you have to explain it in your own words. So, here's my explanation. This shows that while some children are born with traits that make them less in touch with other people's emotions, this does not make them evil. Remember, I said that evil is not a genetic trait. Even if a child lacks empathy, he or she can still learn the difference between right and wrong if the child grows up in a loving and supportive environment. So, that was my explanation for this evidence that supported this reason. That people cannot be born, that evil is not a genetic trait. Here comes the counter-argument, guys. Remember, the counter-argument is what you think whoever you're arguing against would say. So if you think people can't be born evil, then this person, whoever's making a counter-argument that you're trying to anticipate, is going to say that they are born, people can be born evil. So what's the best argument that someone could say that people can be born evil? Well, something I read in source 1 is this. Some people might argue that the examples of children who showed psychopathic behaviors before the age of 5 is proof that babies can be born evil. Now that's a good argument, because in the article they talk about how it's pretty obvious if a kid shows psychopathic behavior really early on. So that's probably not something they learned, right? That's something they must be born with. And we also learned up here that kids can be born with a lack of empathy, or they can't really read other people's emotions. This is all arguments that maybe people are born a little bit evil. But I got to refute this claim. I got to prove why I disagree with this claim in my rebuttal. However, I disagree because even babies who are born without the ability to empathize with people can still be taught right from wrong if they're raised in a healthy and supportive environment. Remember, that's what we read up here. That's where I got that information. So, hopefully, that does a good job of explaining why I disagree with the counter-argument. Alright, so, you see, this is a lot of writing here. I've completed the graphic organizer, and I have a lot of stuff right here. So, how can I turn this into an essay? Now, people who did this on their computer are going to be very happy to see that you can just copy and paste. People who did this in a packet are going to have to rewrite. So, it says claim, intro paragraph. So, this is going to be the main part of my intro paragraph. Tomorrow, I'm going to show you how to make it better. Right now, I'm copying this and pasting it down here. Here's my intro paragraph. Again, tomorrow I'm going to add some padding to this so it's not just one sentence. But, okay, new paragraph. Skipping a line, indenting. What's going to be my first sentence in my first body paragraph? Right here. I believe this because research shows that evil is learned through observing other people. Copy. Paste. Now, my evidence is still going to be a part of the second body paragraph. You see where I wrote that. So is my explanation. So here we go. I'm taking this down here. Copy. Paste. Now, my explanation should also be a part of my second body paragraph. So right now I have two paragraphs. This little one sentence paragraph, which again I'm going to turn into a full paragraph tomorrow. And this pretty bulky first body paragraph, which is my first reason, evidence, and explanation. So, I skip a line, I indent. Here comes my second body paragraph, which is my second reason. Copy. just like last time, I'm copying and pasting my evidence and explanation. Putting it right here. So now I have 3 paragraphs. My intro paragraph, where I answer the question. My first body, where I give a reason, evidence, and explanation that supports my claim. My second body, where I'd give another reason, evidence, and explanation. And now I'm going to do my counter-argument and rebuttal. So, counter-argument. And rebuttal. And there you have it, guys. That is a 4-paragraph essay. So here's what's missing. It's missing some extra information up here at the top. You should never have a 1-sentence intro paragraph. But tomorrow I will show you how to add some things to this. And then also, and least importantly, but still importantly, you need to have a conclusion paragraph. So this is something I'll work on tomorrow, but you can probably guess how it's going to start. In conclusion. And I'm going to summarize my 2 main reasons about why I think people are not born evil. So guys, if your graphic organizer in your essay does not look like this, if you are not skipping a line and indenting for each new paragraph, if you're not including a reason, evidence, and explanation in your body paragraphs, then that's incorrect. So you need to make sure you're doing this correctly. If you have any questions, you can call. I'll be available during class today with any questions. And also, people who are doing their paper packets, make sure you send pictures of your completed packets so I can take a look and see how you did. Alright guys, can't wait to see you in class, and I will have a new video out for you tomorrow. Alright, thanks.